It's Christian with St. Augustine TV. You know, St. Augustine is booming. It's no longer the poor town of the years past. In recent years, tourism revenue has exploded, and property tax revenue has never been higher. In fact, the property tax rate is the highest in the region. Also, it's important to understand that the state of Florida picks up the tab for most of the major projects around town. Things like the upcoming seawall replacement, bridges, the US 1 corridor improvements, the King Street upgrades, the infamous Peanut Roundabout, the forthcoming African American History Museum, the downtown circulator bus, the purchasing of Fish Island for preservation, even the recent Frederick Douglass statue, and the list goes on and on. The county helps too. Just look at the athletic parks around town that the county operates. And of course, the city benefits from nearby state parks, a national monument, and a whole ecosystem of private businesses and nonprofits that keep their standards high. Which leaves the city responsible for, well, less than you think. I've been running consistently downtown for 11 years now, and during that time, I've noticed something. As tourism and revenue have gone up, the physical condition of downtown public spaces has gone in the other direction. More trash, less maintenance, less beautification, less thoughtfulness and strategic improvements, at a time when the city should be polishing every detail. And details matter in a historic place like this. St. Augustine sits at the heart of a multi-billion-dollar tourism industry in the wealthiest county per capita in Florida. At its center is the historic Plaza, part of the original European street plan surrounded by attractive architecture. It has all the makings to be the most beautiful public square in the South. Yet, somehow, if you look around, the town feels a little tired and neglected, which raises the question, if the money is flowing, where exactly is the reinvestment happening? Do these taxes really need to go into further marketing Nights of Lights or influencing another best of list? You know, you can still attract crowds while enhancing and showcasing the natural and historic beauty of the place. Something I have found to be true is places that respect themselves get respected. Places that look trampled, littered, and neglected tend to be treated in the same way. So the city has a choice. It can continue to lean into the garish, party town trajectory and become just another Florida town. Or it can polish the details, elevate the experience, and become the kind of town that truly knocks visitors' socks off. With that in mind, let's take a look at St. Augustine's downtown parks, the public spaces that should be the crown jewels of the city. Harbor Master Park might have the best resume of any park in town. It overlooks the Bridge of Lions, the Municipal Marina, the Matanzas River, and the St. Augustine Lighthouse. If you were designing a waterfront park on paper, you'd likely end up somewhere very close to this. And yet, the experience on the ground doesn't quite match the setting. Despite its location, the space functions mostly as a pass-through. It feels less like a place to gather or enjoy, and more like a corridor between other destinations. There is a pergola, a clear nod towards creating a space to pause, but the absence of seating, as a result of challenges with vagrancy, partly due to its proximity to public restrooms, limits how people can actually use it. The result is a space that feels under-realized and underutilized. What's striking is how much potential is sitting right there. There could be a sequence of small, intentional moments along the waterfront, layered landscaping, shaded areas, framed views, something closer in spirit to the High Line in New York City, where the walk itself becomes the destination. There's also a missed opportunity to tell a story. St. Augustine's maritime history is rich, from fishing and shrimping to shipbuilding to trade, and all the way back to the age of exploration. A park overlooking the marina, named Harbor Master Park, feels like a natural place to bring that history to life. Interpretive elements, subtle design cues, or even public art could help connect the setting to the past. Instead, that narrative is largely absent. Nearby, a highly visible corner with a circular landscape feature adds to the sense of incompleteness. It feels like a space waiting for a focal point, a sculpture, a garden, something to anchor it, but never quite received one. As it stands, the park plays a role during St. Augustine Race Week, when the space has a clear purpose. Outside of that 1 week, though, it doesn't invite people to slow down and take in what it is, one of the best places to enjoy a scenic view and welcome boaters. Zora Neale Hurstston, one of the defining voices of the Harlem Renaissance, spent her life capturing the richness, humor, and complexity of Black Southern life. She gave us "Their eyes were watching God." She gave a voice to people and places that might have otherwise been forgotten. And here in St. Augustine, we gave her this. The park that bears her name sits at one of the busiest gateways into downtown, a spot that creates an impression, a place where visitors, students, and locals pass daily, directly across from what the St. Augustine Record once called the ugliest corner in Florida, which is a tough competition to win. And somehow, this park rises to meet the challenge. Instead of feeling like a tribute, it feels like a leftover. It's untended, it collects trash, and at the moment, it appears to double as an unofficial campsite for someone clearly in need of serious help. All while college students walk past on their way to class. It's hard to come up with a good explanation for why this happened. Easier, well, actually, to assume that no one's really trying. Quite frankly, this shouldn't be a park at all. This should be the Zora Neale Hurstston Gateway. Something intentional, something designed. Color, height, framing. A space that signals you're entering somewhere special. Instead, it signals neglect. Right now, it doesn't honor Hurstston, and it doesn't honor the city. Because places that respect themselves get respected, and places that don't tend to become exactly what this is. Robert B. Hailing Freedom Park. This might be the best view of any park in St. Augustine. Matanzas River, San Sebastian River, the lighthouse, the 312 Bridge, all from one peninsula. And it's named after Dr. Robert B. Hailing, a civil rights leader who helped force the city to confront segregation in the 1960s. He organized protests, endured violence, and helped bring Martin Luther King Jr. here at a pivotal moment in American history. So this place matters, but the park, it really doesn't live up to the name or the place that it occupies. There's no shade, no intentionality. It feels unfinished, like it was started and then forgotten. And the frustrating part is, it's kind of obvious what it wants to be. It's begging for some live oaks for shade, some palms, a meandering walking path, shaded seating, maybe even swings facing the water. Not complicated, just thoughtful. This could be the premier scenic park in the city, a place to enjoy the breezes and the panoramic views. Instead, right now, it's one of the biggest missed opportunities. For a place named after Robert B. Hailing, that's not good enough. At the center of downtown sits the historic heart of St. Augustine, the Plaza de la Constitución, the original and historic focal point of the city for centuries. If any place in this city should feel like something out of a storybook, this is it. And in my opinion, should be the most beautiful plaza in the South. And to be fair, it is pretty, it's pleasant, it functions, people gather, events happen, it photographs okay, but it falls far short of what it could be. The landscaping feels tired. The grass is beaten down and often trampled. There's very little color. For a city that markets charm and romance, the plaza should be dripping with seasonal blooms, layered plantings, texture, fragrance, something immersive. To me, it should knock people's socks off. And with attention to detail and a little investment, it can. Compared to what it could be, it is underwhelming and going in the wrong direction. This should be a showpiece, a place that inspires awe, that residents and visitors delight in, the space that sets the tone for the entire historic district. Right now it's nice, but it almost always feels a little worn and fatigued. If the city doesn't have the staffing or resources to maintain it at a high standard, there are solutions. Public-private partnerships, a nonprofit foundation dedicated specifically to the Plaza, sponsorship of seasonal plantings, structured volunteer programs. Many cities use these models to elevate their central civic spaces. Personally, I think some of the windfall tourism revenue should be reinvested here and the overall visitor experience. If the town is going to spend so much money to market historic storybook charm, why not deliver it? If any town can do it, it's here. Investment in the Plaza could be a very good way to improve the town and the visitor experience. This is the centerpiece of the city, a centerpiece that should knock people's socks off. It's worth remembering that great cities pay attention to the small details. Clean spaces, thoughtful landscaping, and well-maintained parks don't just look good. They shape people's perceptions and how they treat the place. The analogy of the goose that laid the golden egg is apt. St. Augustine provides many golden eggs, making even more reason to take care of the goose. St. Augustine has the history, the setting, charm, romance, and the visitors. Elevating the experience for both locals and tourists is about caring for the spaces we all share. Because when a town respects itself, it gets respected. Together, we can elevate St. Augustine. Hey, this has been Christian with St. Augustine TV. I'd like to know what you think. Should the city use its windfall taxes to reinvest more into the city, or should it continue to use that money just to promote more tourism and more events? Please leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Hey, thanks for watching. For more local St. Augustine content, don't forget to like and subscribe.